Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination of civil services will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 10th of October. The first important news that is regional meeting on drug trafficking. Second, Indian Navy to join Malabar exercise. Third, disparity among the states in facilitating for the eye donation. Fourth, online gaming market in India and the proposed rule. This is from the explain page of the Indian Express. And the last is an editorial fate of chip will determine the fate of the nation. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based question. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before that, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So starting this session with the first news, that is the regional meeting on drug trafficking and the national security, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it design and implementations. So recently, the Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, has chaired the regional meeting on drug trafficking and the national security in Assam. The name and the venue of the place is important. The meeting discussed the drug scenario in the northeastern region specifically and the ways to mitigate it. Because we know अगर प्रेजेंट कंटेक्स्ट में बात करें ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग एक बहुत बड़ी इशू है नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन में विद द बॉर्डर्स ऑफ म्यांमार दिस इश्यूज हैज बीन अराइजेस सेवरल टाइम फ्रॉम द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एज वेल एज फ्रॉम द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. Now, the regional conferences of the chief ministers were attended by the chief minister, chief secretaries, DGPs, that is Director General of Police, of the 8 states in the northeastern that has acknowledged the drugs consumptions in the region as a serious problem. Now, the main objective of this regional conference is to convey the center's seriousness about the issues in the northeastern region. So, Government of India, via the central government, via the Ministry of Home Affairs, has put an impetus that definitely this is a problem and we need to overcome this problem. Now, destroying for the drugs, the government has come up with a campaign where the Ministry of Home Affairs has said that about 11,000 kg of narcotic substances will be destroyed by the Narcotics Control Bureau, that is NCB. Make sure you check out the function of the NCB, that is going to be relevant for the prelims and many other government examination. Now, in this 13,675 kgs of confiscated narcotics, that include heroin, ganja, cocaine syrup, narcotics pill will be destroyed by the northeastern state of Assam and Tripura. In total, approximately 25 kgs of drugs will be destroyed that has been recovered by the police and law enforcement agencies. Now, the Ministry of Home Affairs, through its Narcotic Control Bureau, is running a special mission to destroy and confiscate the entire drugs that was recovered. And even the law enforcement agencies has doubled their target of destroying 75 kgs of narcotic substance to commemorate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that India is celebrating as 75th year of independence. Now, the other news, India Navy joins to Malabar exercises, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is a bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So, Japan will host the 2022 edition of the Malabar naval exercise. This will consist of the country like India, Australia, Japan and US. So these 4 countries are important for the examination also. आप ये नाम जरूर ध्यान रखिए Malabar exercise में participant countries कौन-कौन थे. So this is going to schedule for the month of November 2022 this year. Indian Navy will participate in the International Fleet Review as well. This is known as IFR, and that is being hosted in the first week of November to commemorate the 70th anniversary of Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Forces, also known as JMSTF. So even you can use this type of point in the mains paper. Specifically, you can highlight this. Now, this is the latest series of bilateral and multilateral exercise which is Indian Armed Forces taking part recently. Now, what is Malabar exercise? Precisely, this can be important and relevant for the prelims examination, although this type of question is also important for CAPF examination, right? So it is an annual trilateral naval exercise between the navies of India, Japan, and United States, alternatively in Indian Pacific Ocean. It began as a bilateral navy exercise between India and US in 1992, and the format has expanded with the inclusion of Japan in 2005. So during the inception, Japan was not the part of the Malabar exercise. It was added in 2015, a point to be noted. Now, the exercise aims to support free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific that remains committed to the rural-based international order. See, basically, अगर आप किसी भी ऐसे मल्टीलेटरल फोरम्स को देखें तो मेंबर्स खास करके डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज या फिर जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं उनके पार्टिसिपेशन काफ़ी इनएविटेबल होते हैं दैट कॉल फॉर अ लॉट मोर रोबस्टनेस इन पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन राइट इट एम्स टू हैव एन इंटरऑपरेबिलिटी विद एन एम्फेसिस ऑन ह्यूमैनिटेरियन असिस्टेंस surface war maneuvers, anti-submarine warfare, counter-terrorist operations, gunnery training, and artillery and aerial surveillance. So these are some of the important aspects that will be taken into consideration. That is actually the part of the Malabar exercises. Now, युद्ध अभ्यास भी इसमें बात की गई है. In October end, the India and United States bilateral army have a युद्ध अभ्यास scheduled to take place in the high altitude of Uttarakhand. That is around 100 kilometers of aerial distance from the line of actual control. There is Manesar Anti-Terror 2022. India is currently hosting a multilateral anti-terrorist exercise. That is the Manesar Anti-Terror 2022 under the ambit of Shanghai Cooperation Organizations and the regional anti-terrorism structure that is scheduled for October 8 till 30. सो ये काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि अगर आपसे पूछा जाए मानिसर एंटी टेरर एक्सरसाइज दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ द Shanghai Cooperation Organization. At the same time, Australia flagship regional engagement activities in the Indo-Pacific endeavor is currently underway. Now, the news, online gaming market in India and the proposed rule, something relevant for General Studies Paper 2. Under the topic, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementations. So, Inter-Ministerial Task Force was set up by the Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, also known as MEIT, and this particular task force aims to propose the contour of national level legislation to regulate the online gaming. जो online gaming है उसको regulate करने के लिए committee बनाई गई and the ministry has proposed the creation of central regulatory body for the sectors as well. The Minister of Electronic and Information Technology set up a task force in May 2022 और ये जो टास्क फोर्स है ये इसमें CEOs थे काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट गवर्नमेंट पोजीशंस के विच इंक्लूड नीति आयोग के यहाँ से सेक्रेटरीज फ्रॉम मिनिस्ट्रीज दैट इंक्लूड IT, होम अफेयर्स, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस, इंफॉर्मेशन एंड ब्रॉडकास्टिंग, कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स एंड अदर. The task force is understood to have prepared the final report and recommendation has been submitted to the Ministry of IT. Now, the final basically call will be taken by the government. So, what is the need of this are? The government and the committee have called for need for the central level law. The online gaming so far has a subject which is under the state list. We have three lists basically. First is called the state subject, the central subject, and the concurrent list, right? Or you can say the union subject. तो ये तीन लिस्ट होती हैं जिसमें सारी चीज़ डिवाइड होती है. तो ऑनलाइन गेमिंग एक स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है. But the state government find it extremely difficult to enforce certain rule like geo-blogging and certain apps website within their territory of the state. तो ये आप ध्यान रखें कि online gaming is a state subject. Now, there's also a concern that the rule have been passed in one or state or not applicable to the other state. That has been inconsistency with the online gaming industries. And the state government has also do not have enough blocking power like center to issues blocking order for the offshore betting sites. Online gaming market, अगर इंडिया की बात करें, what is the value and how it is booming? The revenue for Indian mobile is growing industries and expected to exceed about 1.5 billion, and it is estimated to reach 5 billion in 2025. The industries in the country grew at a CAGR of 3.38% actually. This is 38% between 2017 to 20, and it says opposite to that of China, that is 8% and 10% in the United States of America. So we have almost reached a higher value compared to other countries. It is expected to grow at a value of 15% of the CAGR, and the value is around 153 billion by the revenues by 2024. This is the anticipations. And India's percentage in the new playing or the NPUs gaming has been fastest growing for the 2 consecutive years, that is 40% in 2022 and 50% in 2021. Recommendations क्या क्या दी हैं टास्क फोर्स ने? According to the sources, basically the task force which was there by the central level law, online gaming should be given that they've said that there should be a real money for the free games for the skill, including the sports, online fantasy sports contest, and the games other among the things. Casual games with no real money elements involved in the stake may be kept out of the scope of such rule. So this is what the exemption was also sought. And the committee has also recommended for a regulatory body for the online gaming industries that will determine the qualities and qualifications of the game skill that is changing according to the certified different games format, seeking compliances and enforcement. Now, three-tier dispute resolution mechanism was also suggested by the committee under the Information and Technology Rule 2020 for online streaming services, consistent with the grievance redressal system for online platform, a regulatory body, an industry that will be overlooking into the committee aspects and the online gaming. The task force has suggested that the MIT may act as a nodal ministries to regulate the online gaming, except for the esports category, which Department of Sports has taken the lead. Now, certain other aspects of the online gaming, such as the advertisement code of ethics related to the constants classifications, could be regulated by the Information and Broadcasting Ministries and the Consumer Affairs Ministries to regulate the sector for any kind of unfair trade practices. So the entire gamut of ministries will be taking care for the implementations and the regulation part. Now, moving to the other news, that is disparity among the states in facilitating the eye donation, something important for General Studies paper 2. That is welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the states. So according to the Union Health Ministry reply on an RTI, it says that the state and union territories has no functional eye bank as on July 2021. बहुत सारे ऐसे states हैं जिनके पास proper ना तो आई बैंक है ना ही फैसिलिटीज हैं दैट इंक्लूड अंडमान एंड निकोबार आइलैंड, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, दादर एंड नगर हवेली, दमन एंड दीव, गोवा, जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, लक्षद्वीप, मणिपुर, मेघालय, नागालैंड, सिक्किम हैव नो फंक्शनल आई बैंक. सो दीज स्टेट्स एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज लैक द आई बैंक फैसिलिटी. आई बैंक इन इंडिया की अगर बात करें, महाराष्ट्र हैज द हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ फंक्शनल आई बैंक एट 74, फॉलोड बाय उत्तर प्रदेश 41, कर्नाटका 32 एंड गुजरात 25. A very important data. You can take a note of this. Now, states such as Tripura, Uttarakhand, Mizoram has just one eye bank functional according to the data by the government. Now, blind and visual impact survey की गई थी. इसके मुताबिक जो national blind and visual survey है उसमें बताया गया that almost 48 lakh people are suffering from the blindness and cornea blindness. That is the second most type of blindness after the cataract that impacts close to 25,000 people every year. Cornea collections की अगर बात करें, topping the list, cornea collection in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh is among the highest according to the National Blindness Survey 2015 to 19. Nearly 4.8 million people are visually challenged in India with a corneal blindness for the second time, that is 7.4% of the cases. Now, what is the need of the hour? What are the suggestions that government should take? So, national-wide eye banking network is very important. This is the need of the hour. Well-equipped eye bank trained facilities with an eye collections retrieval centers will ensure a better utilization. This could be a solution for establishing an eye bank requirement. Large investment and approval from numerous state government and regulatory bodies is essentially required that will take care for the entire implementation, grievance redressal, and proper implementation of it. Moving to the editorial of the day, fate of chips will determine the fate of the nation, something important for General Studies paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues pertaining to mobilization of resource, growth and development. So what are the issues under this editorial? Talking about the theme of this editorial, talks about the chip manufacturing roadmap for the India. We'll look into the important aspect of this editorial to make it more simpler. First, we'll look into the introductions, dependence of the chip industries, India की क्या stand है और conclusion. Now, India is aiming to become a global hub of the semiconductor design and manufacturing technology in the world. Basically, Make in India initiative, Atmanirbhar Bharat, इस तरह के जो schemes है government की, that is inclined towards that. And even government has also come up with a PLI scheme to boost the sector, right? However, the shortage of semiconductor chip has exposed the vulnerability in the semiconductor supply chain and highlighted to increase the domestic manufacturing and capacity. The fate of the nation depends upon the infinitesimal small piece of silicon that has devastated and save the lives of the pyramid ways. Basically, it's an example hypothetical that how it can save and change the arenas. Now, dependence on chips की अगर बात करें, let us consider three important aspects. अगर देखें पहली Apple के बारे में, Apple new A16 chip, which is a bionic chip, has 16 million of transistors into it that is fixed. This is the level of technology that United States are incorporating. Now, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, that is TSM, has a world-leading manufactured chip placed over the quantitarian, which is 1 followed by 18 and transition not just as an iPhone chip. So Taiwan is also a country which is very advanced semiconductors. Now, every message that we send, every pictures that we take, and every call that we make depend upon one chip or other. Now, second, Russia appears to be unable to dominate the Ukraine war. अगर जिस तरह की सिचुएशंस को देखें, सिचुएशन एक काफ़ी ज़्यादा वर्स्ट क्या है ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन को भी एंड इवन फॉर द सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्रीज. Now, Ukraine is using precision-guided missile to fight Russia's and certainly procured Western allies. Now, this missile is powered by the chips. Now, while Russia has some precision-guided missile unable to manufacture the scale because of the Western sanctions, so some limitation has also been imposed to Russia. The United States government has formally intended list ensure that the technology does not reach China and even Russia that cannot go ahead with the chip races. तो अगर बात करें पूरी ग्लोबल सप्लाई चेन की, रशिया, यूक्रेन, यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, these are also the countries that has a substantial contribution in the overall manufacturing. The third is that Toyota temporarily shut down productions at assemblies for the 5 domestic plants in Japan due to the shortage of chips. This is the real-time status. And if you don't want to buy a new car in US, the waiting time is really long. This is the reality. And the US, European Union, Japan, India, and China have poured around 200 millions into the semiconductor sectors, but the impact will not be seen. Now, talking about the India's stand, while India has taken a visionary steps to subsidize the chip manufacturing, and even Government of India has come up with a PLI scheme, that is the Production Link Incentive Scheme. Therefore, is one of a caution that can take must bear in the mind in chasing the global manufacturing chips. गवर्नमेंट के इंसेंटिव्स के अलावा बहुत सारी ऐसी चैलेंजेस हैं इस सेक्टर में जिसे ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है. Some of them like Indian states which are competing on the core chip manufacturing, they have to keep in mind that a lot of electricity is required. A clean water, that a gallon of clean water will be required to set up a chip unit, and even the cost for establishing a manufacturing unit is very high. The LCD panel manufacturing is a dream and future for a country like India. Conclusion की अगर बात करें, the chip manufacturing plant cost 15 billion to 20 billion, which takes a year recouple profitability even if run years ago and all around the years. While the supply chain is a turmoil, that the Ukraine war has even aggravated the situation and it has more complex and it has given more complexity and complicated the situation. While major economy superpower is using money and space to win the silicon pattern. So India, with its PLI scheme and more other initiatives, is looking forward to develop this sector. And definitely India is looking forward to be a global competitor in the global manufacturing of the supply chain in the semiconductors. Now, moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is C again. Today's MCQ for practice, आपको बताना है new umbrella entities के बारे में. Those entities that are owned and controlled by the national citizen at least for the 3 years has experience in segment of the NU promoters. No foreign investment is allowed in the NU for the existing guidelines. So do check it out for the correct option, which among the following is correct one. Second is electoral bond. All nationalized in India are authorized to issue in cash bond that are validated for 15 days to the date of issuance. And these banks are remittable at the designated account of the registered political parties. So do check it out for the correct option, which among the following is the correct one. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.